Hey everybody, Coach Mark here, and before I dive into today's topic, make sure to find me over on Instagram as Coach Mark Estrabio. Also, I offer one-to-one coaching. It's what I do full-time. The odds are very good. I'd love to work with you. With that being said, let's get into it. Today's video was going to be the original final video in this series, but I've gone ahead. There's going to be another one after this discussing my warm-ups on each of these training days, but today we're talking about my upper intensive training day. As a quick reminder, if you've been with the channel for any amount of time, you're likely familiar with my dichotomy between intensive versus max effort. Main difference being when I look at intensive training, rather than focusing on just a 1 rep max, I usually like to train between anywhere for a 3 to 10 rep max just to help develop a little bit more muscle mass, as that's my key priority right now. Additionally, I'll keep the same variation in for 3 to 6 weeks at a time, as that allows me to extract more benefit from it overall. I'll often make use of mechanical progressions as well. Regardless, this is, in my opinion, a slightly more strongman-specific approach to the max effort method, as the sport tends to be 4 reps, and myself, I need a little more mass up top to help support higher peaks in my pressing ability. Now, as far as what I train on my upper intensive day, I've got it on screen right now. We have the main press, the second press, a tricep dominant press, which for this wave is actually going to be the Dick's press, pull-ups, upright rows, and then a bicep and tricep superset. Now, as far as the first and second presses go, I have that listed here on screen. So if you recall, on one of my extemporaneous lives, I talked a bit about Conjugate training. So what that means is I tend to use both block and conjugate at the same time within my training waves. So for example, in the first 3 weeks of this training protocol, what I did is I did the EFS bench, which is a neutral grip 1.5 board bench for those of you unfamiliar. And I went to a heavy 3, 2, or 1 rep max depending on the week. But now, as my other bench day has gotten heavier, I'm switching out my press variations to ones that are a bit more challenging and require I use a bit less load. So for example, right now in the current wave, I'm doing a seated unsupported camber bar overhead press, as well as a dumbbell 30-degree incline press. Now, if you've not seen what a breakdown is, that's where you work to a heavy set of 4 to 6, drop the weight by 10% for a set of usually 10 to 15 reps, and then you'll take out 50% of that initial top set for max quality reps, usually aiming for between 20 to 30. Additionally, with the first press, that SU camber press in the current wave, I'm working, between a 6 to 3 RM, and what I'll do after I hit that top set is I'm going to drop the weight by 20%, and then I'll do a rest pause set. And then in the final 3 weeks, I'm going to use a dumbbell 60-degree incline as my main press, and the reason why we're doing that is, again, less loading, and I'm going higher reps here, because on my other pressing day, my bench press is going to be the heaviest it's been throughout the entire training cycle, so that becomes the more intensive, demanding day. So on this day, in terms of demand, we make it more about repetition strength, and then I'll also follow that up with a close grip axle bench to help double down on my bench pressing at this time and really get a lot of overload to those triceps and help build more upper body mass. Now, as far as the accessory movements go here, for that Dick's press, I'm using that 2RD method. So for the first 3 weeks, it was 2RD10. Right now, I'm doing 2RD8, and then it'll be 2RD6. So let's say it's 2RD8. I'll take a given weight up for a challenging set of 8, and then repeat that weight for max quality reps. If I can get 10 or more on the second set, next week I go up. And then after that second set, I'll drop the weight by about 20% and do another round of max quality reps. This is a really fun approach for accessory work. It's one that I've really found very productive. Then for my pull-ups, I'm using a 10-minute EMOM wave, which if you look over at my shorts, or later this week I'll be dropping the weekly shorts digest. I talk a bit more about that. But right now the idea is I set a timer for 10 minutes, and on minutes 1, 4, 7, and 10, I'm doing 3 pull-ups. On minutes 2 and so on, I'm doing 2 pull-ups, and then on minutes 3 and so on, I'm doing 1 pull-up. So 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, adding a little bit of weight every week. And then once I stall out there and I can't add weight, I'll drop back down to body weight and go 5, 3, 2, 5, 3, 2, 5, 3, 2, 5 for my waves. Really fun progression. I think this one's particularly useful for pull-ups. And then after that, for the upright rows, triceps and biceps, 350 methods. Just 3 sets of each, 50 total reps across the 3 sets, so it might be something like 20, 15, 15. This just gets me let a lot of work in very quickly, very simple, and on movements such as this, I find I don't need to get too complicated, especially this workout being on Friday. I kind of just want to put my head down, work, get out, and go home, so this isn't the day where I'm going to get too complicated or too fancy with how I go about skinning the cat. Additionally, with arm work, at day's end, just getting in a lot of quality volume is going to be the most important variable for me, as opposed to going as heavy as possible on everything, as I need to build a wider base to support higher peaks within my upper body. This video went by really quickly, which is not too much of a surprise as it is the fourth one in the series, or at least the fourth training day within the series. So as a result, you've kind of seen everything else and I've gone over everything else. So today was really just a matter of outlining what that day looks like. But next week, we're going to get a little more exciting as I'll be talking about each day's warm-up protocol and how I go about getting ready for those sessions. So this is something that I think a lot of you will find very helpful. Really quick one today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a great day. Make sure to comment or question down below if there's anything you'd like me to elaborate on. And the best comments and questions are ones I will turn into full topic videos. Until then, I'll see you in the next video. Take care.